Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. Hubby is out on a jog with the baby, and I have time to read some Nietzsche, so let's get it done. We are on the section that was titled On Little, Old, and Young Women. Let's see what's going down. You know Nietzsche can get pretty saucy, so prepare. Why do you steal so cautiously through the twilight, Zarathustra? And what do you conceal so carefully under your coat? Is it a treasure you have been given, or a child born to you? Or do you yourself now follow the ways of thieves, you friend of those who are evil? Verily, my brother, said Zarathustra, it is a treasure I have been given. It is a little truth that I carry. But it is troublesome, like a young child, and if I don't hold my hand over its mouth, it will cry over loudly. Interesting, because you're getting at this undertone. It's like double language here. You never put your hand over a kid's mouth, ever. That's abuse. You wouldn't do that, and it would just make them cry louder, because that's obviously not comfortable for them. But he's getting at how you can have some truth, but you have to keep silent. You cannot say it. It can cause some problems, and it can bring you trouble. When I went on my way today alone at the hour when the sun goes down, I met a little old woman who spoke thus to my soul. Much has Zarathustra spoken to us women too, but never did he speak to us about woman. It should be speak to us about women. I don't know why so many people get the... I don't know why people get that so confused now. To woman. No, to women. To a woman. Basic grammar. And I answered her about woman, one should speak only to men. And I answered her about women, one should speak only to men. It's like, get it right. Basic English. The translator, fail. Then she said, speak to me too of woman. Of women. Should be. I am old enough to forget it immediately. Old enough to forget it immediately, like dementia. And I obliged the little old woman, and I spoke to her thus. Everything about woman is a riddle. And everything about woman has one solution. That is pregnancy. It's funny because it's like when you become pregnant and you're really in tune with your load, right? Your baby. You realize how nothing in the world needs to... nothing should be a... Let me put it this way. You need to eat good, sleep, drink lots of water, be close to a bathroom, watch out for danger. You want to not have any fighting, no violence, no drugs, no alcohol around you. You want stability, peace, tranquility to grow that little one because you want to hold on to it for dear life, lest Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take it back. And so, if you're finding things to complain about, looking for this, looking for that, pregnancy can help some of those women. But at the same time, evil women, no matter what you do, are not going to like their children. And I've seen so much evidence of that now, to where, no, pregnancy is not a solution for everyone. And I think orphanages and foster care prove that. And with how much women abort their children, yeah, you would see that it's definitely not the only solution. Man is for woman a means. The end is always the child. But what is woman for man? That's interesting. Yeah, can the man provide a safe lifestyle for the children? You need him. Is he good enough to give a child to by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Does he deserve to have a child from you because you're going to sacrifice your mental health? It's going to be 2 hard years. 9 months of pregnancy, breastfeeding, diaper changes, sleepless nights, all the struggles to keep the baby healthy. Some children are in the NICU for a while. It can be very stressful. So, can the man provide you with healthy food in a safe neighborhood, or is he your bum? It really matters. Is he going to be out there fornicating, causing you stress, making you cry, which directly hurts the child? A real man wants two things. A real man, let's see, I'm so tired of that phrase. A real man wants two things, danger and play. Therefore, he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything. Women are the most dangerous plaything. I mean, yeah, mess around and find out, right? She's gonna put that poison in the tea. Key your car. Man should be educated for war, and women for the recreation of the warrior. Recreation of the warrior. So women are a recreational object? All else is folly. The warrior does not like all too sweet fruit, therefore he likes woman. Even the sweetest woman is bitter. Woman understands children better than man does, but man is more childlike than woman. Okay, now that's an interesting one right there. Women understand children better, so when people arrogantly say, things are women better than men are better at everything, you could say children understand children better, because that's part of our job. We have to do that, right? Is man more childlike? Maybe sometimes you see men blowing things up, having fun shooting watermelons, doing parkour, those stunts, things that are kind of reckless and dangerous. So maybe he has a point. In a real man, a child is hidden and wants to play. Go to it, women. Discover the child in man. Let woman be a plaything, pure and fine, like a gem, irradiated by the virtues of a world that has not yet arrived. Let the radiance of a star shine through your love. Let your hope be, may give birth to the overman. Now that's a pretty cool one. Asking to give birth to a very strong child. I know I prayed for that. And when you pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before you enact said ritual, we'll call it a ritual, intercourse ritual, we'll call it, trying to get pregnant, when you consciously ask Allah, Allah, please let this interaction result in fertilization, and you are able to ask Allah for that, it changes the way you look at it. And when you're pregnant and you're praying for Allah to bless your child, and you're constantly asking for Allah's favor, this is very helpful psychologically. And it's a very fine thing to strive for, especially when we have rabid feminists who are saying children are a clump of cells, they get in your way of your career, all the negativity they put on being pregnant. This is a very positive spin on it from a Nietzschean perspective. Now, be a plaything. Well, when you're a plaything, you can be used up and tossed aside. Because I can get bored of a plaything. I got a PlayStation. That's my plaything. I can treat the controller however I want. I won't damage it too much because then it won't work. But I can turn it on and off as I will. And it's not the same as something I can't live without. And if you treat a relationship like a plaything, that can run you into some trouble, I'd argue. Let there be courage in your love. With your love you should proceed toward him who arouses fear in you. I get that kind of romantic, you fear of how you look at a majestic lion or jaguar, he approaches you. But if you're like, I'm afraid he's gonna bash my skull in, it's quite different. Let your honor be in your love. Little does woman understand of honor otherwise. But let this be your honor, always to love more than you are loved, and never to be second. Love more than you're loved, that's not good advice. No, it isn't. No. That's terrible advice. That's suicidal advice. A woman should never love a man more than herself or her children. If the man is treating her like crap, you don't love the man more. It should be, I'd argue, different. Depends on who you see as the prize. It's impossible to have equal love for each other for the man and the woman because they are different beings and love for different reasons. But if a woman, I'd argue, wants success, marry someone less handsomer than you and who feels lucky to have you, and then you'll have more peace because there'll be more romance. And you don't want to be disgusted by him. You don't want some liberal soy boy who you can totally manipulate. But you also don't want a dictator who makes your life a living hell by treating you like you're a hoe and he's a pimp and he's just walking all over you like trash. So it really depends. But some men like having that feeling of, I have a prize, she looks good, this is my woman. But if the man, if he's more handsome than her and she's just kind of a plain Jane, it's just quite different because beauty really works a lot on men more than anything else. And men love what is beautiful. So it's quite different. Always love your children until they grow up and betray you, but you always have love for them depending on what they do. Like women are sometimes married and they have kids, and then their kid grows up to be just a school shooter, for example. How can you love your kid after they've done something that evil? But some parents still do. You see what I'm saying? So don't love yourself too much because then you become narcissistic. And they have a word for it. There was some demisexual, I forget what it's called. There's pansexual, demisexual, bisexual, heterosexual, but there was a word for someone who literally gets turned on by themselves. I forgot what it was called. But you don't want to turn into that. I say love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than you love yourself. And it said you're supposed to love the Prophet more than your own family. Right? Peace be upon him. But give your heart only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and you'll be safe. Do your duty by your man. Be cooperative and pleasant. But men can betray you at the drop of a hat. They can go for a way hotter woman, sometimes even an uglier woman who will just let them pass it. Be careful because men will always let you down if you chase them and overly clingy and needy. It's like it does something. It's like you groveling at their feet. It's like a turnoff. You know, it's a little bit tit for tat. Like you can do things out of love, but not love more. You see the difference there? Let man fear woman when she loves. Then she makes any sacrifice. And everything else seems without value to her. Yeah, when you love Allah, you make a sacrifice, and some sacrifices shouldn't be made, I'd argue. Fear a woman's love because if you hurt her, she could totally go berserker on you. I remember a news story back in the day where a woman, she dismembered her man and buried his body parts in different parts. I've been really going in on these crime stories. You'd be totally surprised what happens when a mind of a woman snaps. That's why whenever you see like these men who think that women are like little cute shy mouses, it's just not ever gonna happen. Those women get abused the most. Because an eggshell on a bumpy road don't last very long. Because this realm is violent. I mean, ducks, R-word each other. You'll just see the way chickens behave. I mean, it's brutal. Ripping out feathers, it's tense. Let man fear woman when she hates. Yeah, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. For deep down in his soul, man is merely evil. While woman is bad. Whom does woman hate most? Thus spoke the iron to the magnet. I hate you most because you attract, but you are not strong enough to pull me to you. Now that's a cool analogy, isn't it? The magnet and the iron. The happiness of man is, I will. The happiness of woman is, he wills. Ooh. That's spicy. Oh. Behold, just now the world became perfect. Thus thinks every woman when she obeys out of entire love. Huh. That's so hard. I see what he's saying, but it can feel like that doesn't exist anymore. Because our homes are so broken that we can't even conceptualize what that would be like. A woman must obey. Ooh, Nietzsche, gonna make the feminists mad. And find a depth for her surface. Surface is the disposition of woman, a mobile, stormy film over shallow water. Man's disposition, however, is deep. His river roars in subterranean caves. Woman feels his strength but does not comprehend it. Then the little old woman answered me, "Many fine things has Zarathustra said, especially for those who are young enough for them. It is strange. Zarathustra knows women little, and yet he is right about them. Is this because nothing is impossible with woman? And now, as a token of gratitude, I accept a little truth. After all, I am old enough for it. Wrap it up and hold your hand over its mouth. Else it will cry over loudly this little truth." Then I said, "Woman, give me your little truth." And thus spoke the little old woman. "You are going to women. Do not forget the whip." Thus so spoke Zarathustra. See, this is funny, man. That's funny because it's like you can see in your mind's eye, just like someone like, and you're like, "Get out of here, scatter!" Like, but with a good woman, you wouldn't have to do that, right? So, very funny, very funny. Nietzsche is a funny guy because he's spicy, and you never know what he's gonna say, and he gives us much to think about. What say you, pirate? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. This stupid niqab keeps moving. I haven't pinned it, and then people are like, "Where do you pin it?" And then I pin it, and look what happens. Keeps moving. Well, it's actually very thin niqab. I've washed it so many times that it's kind of worn out, so I need to get a new one. But alhamdulillah, at least allows me to have, it's breathable. How are you enjoying my monologue on my niqab difficulties? Okay, fam. Join my blog because, yes, do it now. It's www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. Hope to see you there.